Well, I think that Turkish politicians will be waking up this morning reading this tweet and sort of spluttering into their coffee at what they would think is the barefaced cheek of what Donald Trump is saying here, talking about how Turkey has been taking advantage of the US for many years. They will talk about how Turkey has in fact been supporting the United States for many years. They got involved in the Korean War in the 1950s on the side of the United States with no particular domestic interest in that war for Turkey, and over the following decades have also been involved in supporting the United States, particularly in things like post 9/11 in Afghanistan. In fact, Turkish troops are still in Afghanistan as part of a NATO operation right now. They will also talk about how US troops are based at Incirlik Air Base here in Turkey. There are also nuclear warheads there. And also the land forces headquarters of the NATO organisation is in Turkey. Obviously an organisation that Donald Trump is not too keen on at the moment, but certainly an organisation that the United States still plays the prominent sort of driving role in that organisation. But I think all of this really shows you, with these sanctions being sort of threatened again as well, that these political issues that are feeding into Turkey's economic problems are not really going to be solved anytime soon. We had in that tweet as well Donald Trump talking about the Christian pastor Andrew Brunson as a great patriot hostage and still calling for his release. Turkey still saying that basically this is the US trying to interfere in the Turkish legal system, and that should be allowed to run its course, and Andrew Brunson should be made to answer to the charges that he faces.
It's interesting, particularly, that we're seeing these opposing narratives. On the one hand, the US saying that Turkey is taking advantage of the US, and then the complete opposite on the other side, that the US is taking advantage of Turkey. Let's talk a little bit about where things go from here, because we're entering a holiday period here in Turkey now. Where is this dispute likely to go?
Well, I think there had been a bit of a possibility of some kind of period of respite in the next few days, because next week is a public holiday in Turkey. It's the Bayram festival, the Eid festival, and from Turkey's point of view, the government here, they're not in a mind to really escalate this dispute. They've always said, we are just here waiting. If the Americans want to talk, we can, but if they're going to escalate this, we will only respond at that point. But in the last couple of days, the Turkish economy, the exchange rate, has stabilised a little bit. It's still at the moment trading at below 6 Turkish lira to the dollar, when at the start of the week it did reach a record low at 7.24 to the dollar. And we've also heard in the last 24 hours from the Turkish Finance Minister Berat Albayrak, who said that the country has no intention of introducing capital controls. It's no intention of going to the International Monetary Fund for handouts. Its main priorities are reform of the economy, strict fiscal policies. So from Turkey's point of view, they are trying to sort of trying to tackle this situation. But with these new comments from the United States overnight, there still does seem to be an aggressive line coming from them, that they're willing to take even more action, more sanctions. So it may not be that we have a week of respite from this situation.